Attention. Funny thing, isn't it? They throw tantrums, start drama, poke at your wounds, try to drag your name through the mud, all for one thing, a reaction. They don't want truth. They don't want peace. They want your energy, your eyes, your focus. But here's where it gets interesting, my friend. The moment you stop feeding them attention, you don't just hurt their feelings. You starve their ego. You see, most people think power is loud. They think it's in the argument, the shouting match, the back and forth. They think they win when they get you to explain yourself, defend yourself, justify your existence. But real power is quiet. Real power is when you look at all their games and refuse to play. Because their ego, it's not built on reality. It's built on audience. They need you to clap. They need you to cry. They need you to chase. You deny them that and watch what happens. Think of it like this. A leech doesn't survive without blood. A parasite doesn't live without a host. Your attention is the lifeline of their ego. Your reaction is the oxygen their drama needs to breathe. They insult you. They provoke you. They test your patience. Why? Because every time you bite, you confirm their importance. You prove they still live inside your head. You show them they matter. You know what really breaks them? Not revenge, not screaming, not proving them wrong. What shatters them is indifference. You scroll past them. You walk by them. You don't flinch, don't stare, don't even blink. That silence, that lack of attention, it's a mirror they can't escape. It forces them to see exactly what they are without your energy. Small. You've seen this before. The one who humiliated you, the one who ghosted you, the one who tried to make you feel like you were lucky to have them. They expected you to chase, didn't they? They thought you'd double text, triple text, stalk their profile, obsess over every move. But the day you stopped checking, the day you stopped watching, the day you stopped reacting, that's the day the power shifted. You didn't just walk away. You took the spotlight with you, and suddenly the star of their own little movie had no audience, no stage, no script, just silence. Let me tell you about a different kind of animal this time. Not the wolf, not the lion. Picture a hawk, high above everything, just circling the sky. It doesn't squabble with pigeons on the ground. It doesn't rush into every noise it hears. It watches, it chooses, it acts when it wants, where it wants, how it wants. That's you when you learn to control where your attention goes. You don't react to every bark, every jab, every invitation to chaos. You pick your battles most of the time. You don't pick them at all, and that drives them insane. Because insecure people live off reactions. They're addicted to being seen, even if it's through conflict. They don't care whether you love them or hate them, as long as you're looking at them, as long as your world revolves around their nonsense. So what do? You take that world back. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed. They'll try to paint you as the villain because you stopped feeding their ego. Let them talk. They weren't there when you cried alone. They weren't there when the anxiety ate you alive. They weren't there when you begged for a love they weaponized against you. They only saw the parts they could exploit. Now they're upset because their favorite toy learned how to walk off the shelf. They don't miss you. They miss the control. They miss knowing that one text, one call, one word could ruin your whole day. Take that away. Watch their ego crumble. Life, my friend, is not just a battlefield. It's a marketplace, And your attention, that's your currency. Every time you stalk their social media, you're paying. Every time you argue with them, you're paying. Every time you explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you, you're paying with your sanity, your peace, your time. And what are you getting in return? Stress, confusion, self-doubt. That's a terrible investment. Start treating your attention like it's expensive, because it is. Not everyone can afford it. Not everyone should. You think they're winning because they moved on faster, posted sooner, pretended they're happier. No, they're just loud, and loud does not equal strong. The strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't need validation, doesn't need applause, doesn't need an audience to feel real. That can be you. Let's talk strategy. You don't need to announce, "I'm done with you." You don't need a speech. You don't need a dramatic exit. You just stop showing up. Stop checking their stories. Stop replying to bait. Stop explaining your side to people who sat and watched you bleed. You become unavailable. Not because you're playing games, but because you're finally playing for yourself. You pour your attention into your goals, your body, your mind, your craft, your future. You build quietly. You grow in the dark where their eyes can't reach, where their ego can't feed off your setbacks. Because here's the truth. Every second you spend thinking about them is a second you're not building yourself. And they're not worth that. They were never worth that. You want to know what really breaks a fragile ego. It's not getting blocked. It's not getting insulted back. It's this, realizing they no longer exist in the world they used to control. They bring up your name and people say, "Oh, I haven't seen them talk about you in forever." They try to poke at you indirectly and you don't even blink. They walk into a room expecting tension, expecting a scene, and you greet them with the same energy you'd give a stranger on the street. That's ego death. Because their identity was the one who hurt you, the one who controlled you, the one who mattered. When you remove that narrative, you delete their script. Suddenly they're not the villain, not the hero, not anything, just irrelevant. But let's be honest, it's not easy, is it? There's a part of you that still wants to prove you're right, a part of you that wants justice, a part of you that wants them to feel what you felt. You replay the arguments in your head. You imagine what you could have said. You picture the perfect comeback. But here's what you need to burn into your mind. Your peace is more valuable than their punishment. You can spend years trying to make them feel it, or you can spend those years becoming someone they'll never be able to reach again. That's the real revenge. Not making them hurt, but making them unnecessary. Your attention builds worlds. When you give it to pain, you build a prison. When you give it to anger, you build a battlefield. When you give it to clowns, you build a circus. But when you give it to yourself, you build an empire. This is what starving their ego of attention really does. It frees you. No more checking if they watched your story. No more decoding their texts. No more sitting awake at 2 a.m. wondering what you did wrong. You already know what you did wrong. You fed people who only came to take. Now you stop. So let me paint a picture. There's a theater. They're on stage performing for you, playing mind games, throwing jabs, putting on their best show for years. Every time they step out, you're there, front row, fully present, heart wide open. Then one day, you don't show up. They walk out lights on, ego ready, and the seats are empty. No arguments, no tears, no emotional fireworks, just silence and empty chairs. After a while, the mask slips. The performance fades. The costume doesn't feel as powerful anymore. Because what is a performer without an audience? Nothing. That's what attention does. It validates illusions, and that's what withdrawing it destroys. But don't twist it. Starving them of attention isn't about pretending you don't care while secretly obsessing over them. That's still feeding them, just in private. It's about truly shifting your focus. You stop asking, why did they do that to me? And start asking, what can I build from here? You stop counting their flaws and start counting your blessings. You stop memorizing their patterns and start mastering your own. You don't have time to stalk their ego when you're busy building your own backbone. And here's the beautiful part. The less attention you give them, the more clearly you see yourself. You know what's even more dangerous than silence. Silence with purpose. You're not just quiet. You're planning. You're not just ignoring. You're evolving. You're not just walking away. You're walking upward. They think you're doing nothing because they can't see behind the curtain. But every day you discipline your mind, heal your heart, sharpen your skills. You're writing a future where their existence doesn't even make the footnotes. You're not the broken version they left behind. You're the upgraded version they'll never get access to. And the punchline, they helped create it, not with their love, but with their absence, not with their support, but with their ego. They thought they were destroying you. They were actually training you. So here's what I want you to remember. You don't owe anyone your attention. Not the one who betrayed you, not the one who manipulated you, not the one who only shows up to drain you. Your energy is sacred. Your focus is sacred. Stop giving front row seats to people who came to set your stage on fire. Let them seek chaos elsewhere. Let them chase reactions from weaker minds. Let them scream into empty rooms. You've got better things to do. Build in silence. Heal in silence. Rise in silence. And when they finally look up one day and realize they no longer have your attention, your time, your energy, your fear, they'll feel it deep because their ego can't survive without you. My friend, when the world comes at you with drama, manipulation, and noise, remember this. You don't have to fight. You don't have to explain. You don't have to react. Starve them of attention and watch their ego collapse. That's your power. That's your freedom. That's your revenge.